Welcome to the Doc G Show, a radio show cluster. Without further ado, critics have said he has the face for radio and a voice for silent films. Your host, Ben Doc G Gordon.
And we are on the air. Welcome to the Doc G Show. I'm your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the Fernicus, Charette.
Doc G, what is up, sir? How's it going?
It's pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Shoot it to me straight. How are you feeling?
8.5.
Wow.
8.5.
Wow.
Out of 10, folks.
Yeah.
For those who have not heard me say that in a while. 8.5 out of 10.
That would be a real downer if you're like, I changed the scale, it's 100. Oh, no. That is bad. Oh, Mike took
hilarious.
a real downturn. That kid is weighing heavily on him now. Oh, no.
So funny.
Mike, I wanted to, something happened to me, and I think you can relate to this. Mm-hmm. Not so much what happened. Maybe you can relate to what happened, but I think you can relate more to my solution for the issue.
Oh.
Yes. So
a spreadsheet.
Exactly. No. So I went in a public bathroom on Monday, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was at the urinal doing my biz. And while I was there, I hear someone in the stall. Mm-hmm. And this is something that has always vexed and confused me, Mike. The man in the stall was was audibly breathing hard.
Oh, that's not good.
Like he's just like you can just hear him in there like
Wait, what?
And now listeners, get your mind out of the gutter. We're in the bathroom. Let's eliminate that this guy is some sick perv from our possibilities, right? He's not doing something weird in there. Let's just assume this is a regular dude doing what you're supposed to do in there. Why are you so out of breath? What's going on, Mike?
I don't know, man.
Like, I just so confused. Like, and it's not a super rare thing. I hear this from time to time. I'll go in there and I'm just like, what is happening? Like, you got to assume they've been sitting there for a while. So it can't be like they sprinted into the bathroom and all of a sudden, whew, okay, 10 floors of stairs. That's pretty okay, but I made it, like, no.
Yeah.
This gym was or this bathroom wasn't in a gym, Mike. It was in an office building. So it's not like they just came out of the middle of a tough workout,
So it was the exhaustive type of breathing?
Yeah, well, it's just heavy breathing,
Heavy breathing, okay.
And so, like, I can only come to, like, a conclusion that either you're out of shape that much that using the bathroom is fatiguing you to breathlessness, or you're just that bad at using the bathroom that it takes so much energy you're getting that breathless. And either one, it's not good, Mike.
Nope.
No.
That's not good. And I was thinking, if either one of these are true, I want to stand outside of that stall and hand this dude a fiber supplement and a squatty potty, Mike.
There we go, squatty potty.
Listeners, if you don't know, me and Mike, well, I don't know why you would know unless you were the CIA and you were tapping me and Mike's conversation. But me and Mike were talking about the squatty potty. Was it last week? It was either last week or the week before.
It's been for the last couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. And, Mike, you love the squatty potty.
I think it's awesome, yeah.
This is your jam.
Game changer, yeah. I'm not to the bidet yet, but I did get a squatty potty, so I'm working my way to the bidet.
Increasing your sophisticated nature in the bathroom.
That's it. Thank you, Doc G. That's exactly what I would like to have said.
Yes, I like it. I like it, Mike. Now, listeners, if you're not familiar with the squatty potty, the whole idea is this changes the angle of attack for a bowel movement.
Sweet.
You are changing your body's position to facilitate release, right? So the idea is you have to work less to get more out of this bowel movement. That's the idea. And it works pretty well. Pretty well. Mike, I think you might know where this is going. I've got a couple of reviews of the squatty potty.
Yes. I love it. Thank you.
I got a couple of reviews.
Hopefully some 1 stars.
We've got a 2-star.
2 stars.
So, first review.
How appropriate.
This is a Google review. Exactly. Exactly, Mike. This is a review from Skylar. Skylar on the old squatty potty. Quote, "This thing that everyone loves so much hurt my back so bad just from attempting to use it for a minute or two. I have spinal issues, but still."
Huh?
And then Skylar goes on to describe how they hurt her back. And then, like I said, she ends up giving it, or he, I'm not sure, Skylar, it's a toss-up. They end up giving it 2 stars. First off, I got to say, Mike, Skylar, if you've got spinal issues, it might behoove you to be aware of things that bend your spine.
Ooh, yeah.
You know? Like, did you look at what the squatty potty does before you used it? And you're like, oh, it bends my lower back. Like, I don't think you can blame that on the squatty potty, you know?
No. Yeah, got to watch the videos.
Yeah. Second, it hurt your back so bad, and you still gave it a 2? It almost seems like subconsciously you know it's a good product. Like you're like, I can't give it a 1. That's my fault. I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm gonna give it a 2. Like, come on. It's just ridiculous, though, Mike. Now let's move on to a real review here. Okay,
all right, there we go.
A 5-star one, Mike.
5 stars.
This is Lee M. 5 stars. Quote, "It works. Period." Then he says, period. Then he puts another period. It works, period.
Jeez.
Not in ellipses. Just he wants you to know. Done, right? I bought a 9-inch because I have a high-rise toilet. Maybe a 7-inch would work better. Don't know. Anyway, squatty potty is a game changer for anyone who has struggles with constipation. I no longer feel like I have to, quote, try to give birth, quote, to my poop.
Ew.
Thank you for inventing the squatty potty. Yes.
And thank you. Thank you, Liam.
Yes, give birth. Nicely done, Lee. Nicely done. Then we've got this one. This one was man. I had to question this one, Mike. Paul H. Paul H. gave it a 3 stars. He gave it a 3 stars. Quote, "Would you consider making an 11-inch so my knees are more into my chest? Position does not get me fully in the best way to eliminate!" Exclamation point. Wow. Wow. Paul is looking for an extreme position, Mike. Paul is getting in a cannonball. Like he is getting up there, man. That
hilarious.
is I don't know, Paul. I don't know if that's recommended. You might need to talk to the squatty potty scientist on that one. Wow.
Yeah, they only have the video for the 7-inch.
Exactly.
You know?
Not
what happens to the inside of the body at 11, nobody knows.
the 24-inch is getting up there, feet even with your eyes. Okay, last one. We're going to end on a 5-star, Mike. We're going to end on a 5-star. This is Jalen. Jalen says, quote, I was gifted this by my mother about 5 years ago. I swear it. The only consistent thing I have had in my home for the past 5 moves is the squatty potty. Woohoo! I swear by it and have turned so many people onto it. It's a life change for me personally. All I wish is if it had cool/different designs to purchase and that there was a collapsible one for when I'm traveling and have to use a trash can instead.
You know what? Wow.
Ooh, he knows the hack.
Wow.
The trash can hack.
Jalen is out there in public flipping trash cans in random bathrooms. Nicely done.
He's not alone.
You know what, Mike? I know that guy that I heard breathing was not Jalen the other day.
Nope.
Jalen was easy breezy in there, feet on a trash can.
Hard to do though in the public stalls. You know, they don't have any trash cans. They're all built onto the walls and.
Not for Jalen. He breaks into somebody's office room, steals the trash can. Is like, I'll bring this back in about 5 minutes. Yeah, you got to admit though, I like how too cool, different designs. Jalen's looking for one with like some graffiti writing on it. Maybe a cartoon of a dude squatting it out, you know, just something cool. Give me something cool and a collapsible one. He wants to go into that bathroom like, ready to go. Here we go. Just sling this thing out. Man, I was thinking. It's a whole different game. It's a whole different game when you got a squatty potty, Mike, you know?
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, can you imagine a squatty potty with a bidet? Oh my Lord. Not only does it facilitate elimination, as one of our fine reviews said, Mike.
So true.
You're facilitating cleanliness. Water going in that area, my friend. My goodness.
Oh, man.
I can't get myself that excited, Mike. We got to move on to the show. That is too much for me. Are you ready to fire this show up?
Let's fire up this show, Doc G.
All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
Oh my gosh. Listeners, if you haven't changed from this podcast, which is a very, very low possibility, we have a fantastic show.
We do.
We have a show that was much, much better than that intro. We have a show with the one and only Aaron Peanut Wills of 311. My goodness.
311.
Just champions. Champions. If you didn't see them while they were in Florida, kick yourselves. Right now. Kick yourselves. Or take a poo without a squatty potty. That's what you deserve. Not a squatty potty poo.
Not good.
Exactly. But I'm telling you, my goodness. 311. The songs that 311 has. Creatures. Down. All mixed up. Amber. Yeah, just so many. So many, Mike. We're gonna talk about first concerts, which by the way is Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's who he saw first.
Cool.
Just crazy. Working with Snoop Dogg. Man, I would have liked to seen that. That would have been wild. Back in 2008, Mike, Snoop and 311. My goodness. The rise to fame of these guys. We're going to talk a bunch of stuff. But before we move on to anything else, we need to talk about something, Mike. I need to advertise something really quick. And the thing I need to advertise is Bush's concert coming up tomorrow, guys.
Say what?
You got to check him out. Daly's Place in Jacksonville tomorrow, the 29th. It's going to be Bush. It's going to be Jerry Cantrell. It's going to be Bones UK. Wow. Now, we have not played the interview that we had with Gavin yet. That is coming next week. We are going to play our interview with Gavin Rossdale. And let me tell you, when it took all of my power, and I'm pretty sure all of Mike's power, not to jump through the Zoom and have sex with Gavin Rossdale.
Oh, man, that look. He's got a smile.
He's
Some
got
kind of smile.
He's got a smile. He has got the gaze. My goodness.
Yeah,
he
the
looks
gaze
at
and the
you.
smile.
It's just that stare of concentration, and you're just like, yeah, maybe I'm not straight. Maybe is that the case? I don't know.
So funny. I was thinking,
and he's just got,
like, wow, what a nice smile.
He is. It's a lovely smile. It's it's something about being English. Mike,
Yeah.
because it's the same smile that Jude Law has.
Jude Law has that smile. He does have that smile.
And I'm like, that's a coy smile right there. That's a smile I want to be friends with, you know? Now, if I can get off the romantic tip for a second. Talk about the songs with Bush, my lord, listeners. The Sound of Winter, Glycerin, just Machine. I mean, there's so many of them. Essentially all of 16 Stone. Like that whole album, every single song on that thing is just a banger. I mean, everything's in. What? Get out of here. There are just so many good songs. So many awesome songs. And guess what? They're celebrating them all. So you'll hear all of those at this concert. It's going to be fantastic. And like I said, they're opening with Bones UK, who, if you want to hear Bones UK, you can go all the way back to when we interviewed them in 2019. We had them on the show. My goodness. They're fantastic. And then Jerry Cantrell, just an absolute living legend. So you definitely, if you are in the Jacksonville area, get out and see Bush, see Jerry Cantrell the 29th, tomorrow, Daly's Place. There are still tickets available. It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. Now, if I knew you guys, I could offer you tickets, but I can't because I don't know you guys. So, sorry. Mike, I can offer you tickets if you want to pay for a plane ticket all the way to Jacksonville. But listeners, make sure you get out there, you see Bush. But for now, Mike, let's move on. We need to move on where we start all the shows. Where is that?
Yes. The birthday suit.
That is correct.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yes. Now, Mike, I'm very confident on this first one, and I've got some exciting news about this first birthday suit wearer that I think you will be excited about.
Cool.
Because it's something that we've talked about in the past.
Oh.
Yeah. So here we go. Born in Santa Monica, California, August 28, 1969. His mom is an amazing aerospace satellite engineer.
Word.
I had no idea of this. This was news to me. He apparently doesn't really advertise that much. He started acting at a young age. He attended UCLA for drama, but then dropped out to pursue a career in entertainment. One of his big breakthroughs was co-starring in High Fidelity with John Cusack. Not long after, he played in Saving Silverman, Shallow Hal, Nacho Libre, Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny, Year One, School of Rock, Gulliver's Travels. He had a huge hit animation series with Kung Fu Panda, where he plays the lead character Po. Along with his success as an actor, he has been very successful in music with his band Tenacious D. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Jack Black.
Jack Black is correct. Turning 55, Mike. 55, the double nickel. The double nickel. My goodness. Mike, I had no idea about his mom.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, what? Just a genius engineer out there? Like, she worked on some critical NASA rockets of the 60s. Like, they wouldn't,
cool.
they wouldn't have got up there in space, right? She actually did what Boeing can't, apparently, now. This lady just dominated making things go to space, which Boeing is horrible at. They're also bad at keeping things in the sky. But
not looking good. Yeah,
they're not good at really most of those things. But Mike, here's my exciting news for Jack Black. Are you ready?
Yeah.
There's a reboot of a movie coming. Anaconda.
Say what?
Really?
That's right. That's right. But it's not really a reboot. It's basically, it seems like it's just a movie about giant anacondas with Jack Black in it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Jack Black.
I love
it. And who else do you think? Somebody that we like a pretty good amount on this show. Not Tom Brady, not Leonardo DiCaprio, not Matthew McConaughey.
I don't know, actually.
Paul Rudd.
Yes.
Paul
there we go.
Rudd.
I love it.
Yeah, Jack Black, Paul Rudd. I can't wait. A comedy about
So
anacondas with those two guys.
It's a comedy.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's supposed to be a comedy.
I love that.
Yes. Well, I mean, they probably saw the original and were like, you know what? Probably don't need to make a scary one. Probably just going to be stupid.
We can make a funny one, but it's going to be pretty graphic.
Exactly.
That'd be cool.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Well, happy birthday to Jack Black. We look forward.
Happy birthday, Jack Black.
We look forward to whatever comes out of this Anaconda party.
I thought you were about to say he's going to be on the show. I was like, what?
What?
Get out of here. But hey, we had Gavin Rosdale on the show. We had Lewis Black on the show. Why not Jack Black?
Jack, if you want to be on the show, you can.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's a small chance. But celebrate that double nickel right here on the Doc G Show.
Yeah.
Regardless, Mike, are you ready? Rip some headlines.
Let's rip some headlines, Doc G.
It's now time for Rip from the Headlines.
Okay. All right, here we go. Mike, moving on to the Huffington Post. I've got a little article here from them. Do you ever drink lemon water?
Water with like some squirts of lemon in it?
Apparently.
Or what are we talking
Yeah.
about? I mean, yeah, I've done, yeah.
Okay. Apparently, it's fairly popular on TikTok. People
And in hotel lobbies.
People advertise it all the time on TikTok because they say it boosts hydration more than regular water because you're more likely to drink it, right? And you get the little bit of vitamin C from the lemon, right?
Oh, okay.
But Huffington Post says, no. Think twice before you start this trend.
Wow.
And they told us the real deal facts, Mike, by talking to a dentist. Okay? They talked to Dr. Stephanie Dumanian. And Dr. Stephanie Dumanian said, quote, I'm not going to lie. I see a lot of effects on patients' enamel from drinking lemon water.
Yeah.
Mike, I know I have a habit of saying I'm not going to lie. But this just doesn't seem like one of those situations you would say that. Like, Dr. D, why would you lie to us? You're a dentist. Like, what? I'm not going to lie because, I have a big payoff from the lemon water conglomerate. Like, why? Yes, you're telling us about enamel. What the would you lie about? We get it. Like, it's just a really weird thing to say from a professional, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
just find it bizarre. But Mike, I didn't know this. I did see this in the article. They said she was talking about it, and apparently she really gets on to her patients that drink the lemon water in the morning and then immediately brush their teeth.
Oh, yeah. Not good.
Because apparently it's like brushing your teeth with acid. I didn't really, I didn't know that. I thought like, the base of the toothpaste would eliminate it. I didn't think that'd be a problem, but apparently that's you need to rinse your mouth out with regular water before you start brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's a little fun fact for you, listeners. It's just so you're not brushing your teeth with acid. Nobody wants to go through that. That's not good.
No.
Mike, from time to time, we dip into the old Royal British family.
We do.
The hot goss from time to time. I've got a scary new headline for Harry and Meghan. The artists formerly known as royals. Here's the headline, Mike. Quote, royal expert fears Meghan Markle and Prince Harry could face a bleak financial future.
Uh-oh.
You know, now that they mention it, Mike, I have noticed that with these two, I have noticed an absence of jobs. You know? They don't really seem to have those.
Nope.
I'm just crossing my fingers that one of them has, I don't know, a super rich family that's already given them a ton of money. I don't know. Maybe one of them has that. I don't know. One of them, I'm guessing, has that. Like, what?
I'm sure.
What is this? What is this, Mike? Do we think that we're gonna turn around one day and be like, is that Harry on the streets? Is he now homeless? Like, come on. They're gonna be fine. And if they run out of money, guess what they're gonna do? He's gonna be like, hey, you know what? I'm back in the family, you guys. I've decided it's pretty important. I need to wave like this again. We need to get back out there. Like, get out of here with that. That's not gonna happen.
No way.
Nope.
No way.
But anywho, Mike, I'm moving on to more important things. Business Insider coming through with super helpful news. You remember how I told you North Korea is opening its borders again?
Yeah.
Well, Business Insider is going to help us with our trip.
Sweet.
So here's their headline, Mike. Quote, I've been to North Korea more than 180 times. Here's how tourists can stay out of trouble. Mike, I think number one on that list should be don't go to North Korea.
Yes.
Step
one.
That would be the best. But
Yeah.
they talked to Simon Cockerell. Simon Cockerell is the tour guide, Mike, and apparently he's been to North Korea 180 times to lead tours. And he has 6 tips that he lays out in this article to stay out of trouble. And I sort of wondered when I read this article, Mike, I was like, 180 times? And all you picked up was 6? I feel like you should have got more tips than just 6 if you've been there 180 times.
Yeah.
Second, Mike, one of the tips that he had was steer clear of comparisons to South Korea. Who doesn't know that? Like, I've never been to North Korea, but I'm not dumb enough to be like, hey, guys, you know who I want to compare you guys to? South Korea. Like, that's like me going to Fenway Park and being like, hey, let me compare this to Yankee Stadium. I'm going to talk everything about Yankee Stadium right here. What? No. Who? Who is that, Mike? Who is that? I don't know, but they shouldn't. Girl, come on.
Yeah.
Here's another recommendation that Simon gives us, Mike. About 90% of the country is off limits, so don't wander off.
That's great.
I mean, no doubt, Mike. That is very crazy.
That's wild.
But who's your tour guide that doesn't tell you which areas are off limits? Like, who's your tour guide that they're just like, well, I'm going to leave you guys by yourself for 30 minutes. Good luck on guessing where you can and can't go. Like, what? Plus, 90% off limits. Just think about that, Mike. That's like coming to America and only being able to go to Texas.
Yeah.
That's it. Just Texas.
I mean, but that would still be a pretty, like, a large percentage of the United States. Be like,
Well, it's a small percentage. It's 10%. Texas is literally 10% of our country. Actually, it's a little bit less. It's about 8% total land
what,
mass.
really? Land?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I checked before I put this down here. I didn't know that, Mike, but it's around 8%. That's, of course, counting Alaska and and Hawaii.
Alaska's huge.
Alaska is about like 15%, 18% of our land mass.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, so there you go. That's the most important thing that came out of that story, Mike. That by far is the most important thing. Mike, I have nothing to add for this next story except it's just impressive. Tom Brady slam dunked a basketball.
Wow, that's cool.
Exactly. He's 6 and he slam dunked a basketball. Like, that's crazy, man. And I'm
Doc G, do you know how tall he is?
6'4".
6'4", man. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure, too, it was a standard 10-foot goal. It looked like a standard 10-foot goal. And I mean, he's 6'4" is obviously, you got quite an advantage with 6'4", but still, like, that means he had to jump at least like 25 inches off the ground, 24 inches off the ground. And for a dude that's 46, come on.
Yeah.
Give it up. That's impressive. Good job, Tom Brady.
Yeah, he still got it.
You know, just like Gavin Rossdale, I'll have sex with you. What? Get out of here. Get out of here. Mike, I've got a scary headline for Blake Lively.
Uh-oh.
Scary headline from Daily Mail here. Quote, does Blake's career end with this? Actress is reportedly fearful that her work may dry up after It Ends With Us drama. Ooh. I can answer this one, Mike. No, Blake's career won't end with this.
No way.
If Kevin Spacey is still making movies, I think Blake will be just fine. All right? Like, come on. I mean, it's all the cancel call. Like, really? She was annoying on set a couple of times. Like, get out of here. What are you talking about?
So true.
Mike, we need to take a break. We're going to be right back. Right here on the Doc G Show. But you know what? We're first going to hear from our guest, 311. This is 311 with none other than one of my favorite songs, Creatures, in parentheses, For a While, right here on the Doc G Show. And we are back here on the Doc G Show. Spinnaker Radio, WSKR LP 95.5 FM in Jacksonville, Florida. Mike, what do listeners need to do?
Well, Doc G, if the listeners feel like the show is a positive way to waste their time, they should please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe. It's a cost-effective way to support the show. And if the listeners are feeling extra generous, they should leave us a 5-star review. That would be super nice.
We had some subscribers on Apple. Thank you,
Cool.
new subscribers. I will say you subscribed, and then I didn't see the 5 stars go up. Girl, come on. But you know, as long as you subscribe and you don't give me a negative. If you subscribe and then you give us a 1 star, you get out of here. We do not need you. But anyways, thank you for subscribing, listeners. Of course, anyone that donates any of their time to the Doc G Show, we appreciate it.
We do.
Whether it's watching a short on YouTube or it's listening to the full podcast, we thank you for any love and appreciation.
Yeah, we do.
And Mike, we need to thank the 5-star listeners. I've been screwing it up constantly for the last 3 weeks ever since we switched the order, and I'm going to do it again here. Here we go.
Shoutouts.
Shout out to Gainesville, Florida, Frankfurt, Germany, Anoka, Minnesota, Ashburn, Virginia, Piracai, Brazil, San Diego, California, Dublin, Ireland, Boardman, Oregon, Genoa, Richards, Texas, Barcelona, Spain, Winfield, West Virginia, Biloxi, Mississippi, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Peoria, Illinois, Katy, Texas, Toms River, New Jersey, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Asheville, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Athens, Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Chicago, Illinois, Boynton, Virginia, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Columbus, Ohio, Jacksonville, Florida, Columbus, Columbia, South Carolina, Radford, Virginia. Almost. Not on the one breath, but the not screw up. First, I got to get the non screw ups down, then I'll get the one breath again. I don't think either of them are attainable listeners. I've just derailed completely. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But we appreciate all the regulars out there.
Yeah, we do.
Especially that one with amazing weather. San Diego, that's right, not you, Los Angeles. Set back down. Anywho, it's so true, Mike. I hate to just point it out again, but it's so true. All right? Los Angeles, you're a little bit of fakers with your weather. Is it better than most of the country? Yes. Are you sitting pretty compared to Maine? Yes. Okay? But are you better than San Diego? No. The answer is no. Okay? Are you better than Hawaii? Get out of here. You're not anywhere close to Hawaii. All right? Plus, they got jungles. They got mountains. They got everything there.
Yeah, they do. It's beautiful.
Except it scares me because it's out there by itself and there's volcanoes.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty far away.
That scares me. Anyways, I got sidetracked. Mike, 4-star listens. We got some great ones out here. Fernandina Beach, right up the road from us. Fernandina, they were getting the listens this week. We appreciate it. Thanks, Fernandina.
Thank you.
Yeah. Home of the flip turners. We appreciate it. St. Simon's Island. By the way, I was in contact with the old flip turners. Was it today? It was today.
Word.
They probably didn't want to be in contact with me, but I had to make a comment. Dylan, their lead singer, he posted something about Oasis. He was making a humorous joke, Mike. On his Instagram, he had on his story, he had deodorant, the Old Spice deodorant, Oasis, the flavor or the smell Oasis. Yeah. And he was like, did you hear the news? You know, and I don't know if you heard the news, Mike, but Oasis, the band, has gotten back together.
Reunion.
So that was his little illusion there. But then when I saw that, I was like, I got to tell him that's not the best flavor of Old Spice deodorant. The best smell is Aqua Reef by far, and I got to let him know that. And I was like, hey, Dylan, I know you're making a hilarious joke about Oasis, but Aqua Reef is the best smell. And he said, that's a fair point. And I said, appreciate it. You know? So anyways, he probably was disgruntled. He was like, what is this nut bar asking me? Oh, God, he's talking to me again. But regardless, anywho, I got sidetracked again. Crozet, Virginia, Mike. Crozet. Yeah. Crozet. Crozet, Virginia. Yeah, it's right outside of Charlottesville. They were getting the listens. St. Mary's, Georgia. Shout out to St. Mary's. Auckland, New Zealand. Auckland. Falkenstein, Germany. Shout out to Falkenstein. Mountain View, California. Classic. Shout out to Mountain View.
Shout out.
Orlando, Florida, the O-Town, Mike.
O-Town, what's up? What's up, home?
Prescott, Arizona. Shout out to Prescott. Yeah. Sacramento, California. Fremont, California. Cleveland, Ohio. And lastly, the 305, Miami, Florida. There we go.
Miami.
There we go. Shout out to all of you guys. We appreciate the 4-star listeners. We couldn't do it without you guys. You need to become 5-star listeners. You need to take our relationship to the next level. All right?
Yeah.
Mike, enough beating around the bush. I did that as a pun. We got Bush coming up next week.
Yeah, we do.
Now, we need to move on to our guest this week, 311. We've got none other than Aaron Peanut Wills right around this break. We will be right back with Peanut right here on the Doc G Show.
The Doc G Show. Because sometimes you need something playing in the background. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on 99.5 FM, Spinnaker.
This is 95.5 Spinnaker Radio. WSKR-LP-FM, UNF Jacksonville.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are very excited to be welcoming a legendary bassist for a legendary band, 311, who are currently on the Unity Tour and will be performing at St. Augustine Amphitheater. We have none other than Mr. Aaron Peanut Wills. Peanut, what's happening?
I am chilling in Boston. Life is good. Love being on the road. Can't wait to see you in St. Augustine.
Awesome. Yeah, so you guys are in Boston. I think this is the 12th show of the tour.
We're counting.
How's the show's been so far?
Oh, this has been such a great tour so far. I mean, I don't want to jinx it by enjoying it so much, but usually you're at the tail end of a tour and you realize how good you've gotten it, had it. And as soon as the tour began, I was watching the whole show, watching Neon Trees and watching AWOL Nation, and really enjoying what they're bringing to the table and how they're just having the time of their lives on stage and bringing the audiences along for the ride. It's just wonderful to watch. I'm watching every show every night as much as I can.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask. I mean, new blood on the tour there with Neon Trees and AWOL Nation. I'm guessing this is the first time that you've got to share a stage with them before.
We've played with both bands here and there. We did a little run with AWOL Nation last year, so it's nice to be back with them, and absolutely honored to have Neon Trees opening up the show and getting the kids honestly to show up earlier. I mean, it's war out there in the entertainment industry. So these chess moves that we've made have been, I think, kind of brilliant. I can't take any credit for it, but whoever's watching over these tour decisions, our manager Corey is doing a really good job, and honestly, it's one of my favorite shows that we've done in years. Nice.
Now, I was gonna ask, as far as the approval, I would imagine you guys have approval of the opening acts. Is that a group do they bring it to you and say, hey, we're thinking about these guys, and then you go yes, or is it you bring it to them? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it gets narrowed down before we would have to siphon through 1,000 different bands. We try and make short lists, to varying degrees of success. We lean on the promoters, we lean on management. And then and then they bring it to the band, and then we fight it out in a cage battle to the death.
Of course. Usual stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Total standard, industry standard.
One of the acts that you toured with back in the day on the Unity Tour, 2008. Oh, Snoop. Yeah. I gotta ask, what was it like touring with Snoop?
It was really difficult in the way that he's, one of the most famous people on the planet. And if he wasn't playing one of his number one songs, he was doing like House of Pain. He was doing Jump by House of Pain, which of course everybody knows too. And it was just brutal to follow him. But we look forward to the challenge. We've actually talked about doing it again in the future. So maybe someday, who knows? But yeah, it was really fun, but it was also just total hill climb every night, when normally it's a victory lap, like these shows. It's very, very easy to come out because the fans are ready for us. They haven't been brought through the ringer like Snoop Dogg brought them through. So, live and learn. But we like a good challenge. Challenges are fun. They really are. They make us better performers, having someone like a luminary like him on the stage with us. So yeah, that was tough and excellent at the same time.
Yeah, I gotta say, following Snoop, that's not an easy gig to have.
Yeah.
I love how he's became the official ambassador for the Olympics.
It's amazing.
Have you had time to watch any of his shenanigans there at the Olympics?
No, I just know he's everywhere, and I think that's incredible. I love that, and his commentary on whatever is always entertaining. So I'm not surprised he's continuing the inroads that he's made through his personality and success and everything. He's parlayed it in such a such a genuine way. There's only one Snoop, and he's just going to continue to be that guy, and it's amazing to watch.
Me and my brother always talk about that with Snoop, how he seamlessly and like you said, in an authentic way, just morphed into Uncle Snoop. Like he was that, the gangster rapper, he was the hardcore guy, and then all of a sudden now you're like, yeah, I could bring him home to meet my grandma. He's not like, and it's just, it's him. It's actually him. That's the great part about it. Well, you guys, I mean, it's called the Unity Tour. Used to be the name of the band way back in the day.
Right. Yes.
So I'm gonna go way back with you. I just want to ask, as far as you getting in, I know into music you were started around 11 as far as bass,
right?
And I always hear you bring up the metal guys, Cliff Burton, Geezer,
always.
Steve. Was that where you started? Was that the the impetus, or was it all music that got you started?
Oh, I mean, I was pretty singular metal guy at that time. There wasn't that much variety in my life, except for MTV being on 6 hours a day, and that took a little bit to get all the way into my brain. So yeah, when I picked up the instrument, it was all metal all the time, but nice. I started just playing as much as possible. So invariably I'd be watching MTV and playing along, and I remember just trying my best at whatever would come up. So yeah, it eventually turned into all music, especially in high school, when like whatever English alternative and the Smiths and the Cure and bands like that, with exceedingly good bass lines, and Joy Division a generation earlier, like just blazingly good bass lines, actually like controlling the song in a real different way than a metal bass player would. And I don't know, that English touch has always been fascinating to me as well. So yeah, it expanded kind of quickly. It felt like it took forever, just like being a teenager does, but my interest in all things musical was probably pretty quick. And I give my brother all the credit in the world for opening my eyes. And, I had cool friends as well that were teaching me about, industrial music, and then what was going out on the West Coast with Primus and the Chili Peppers. It was just, I don't know, it was great. Growing up in the late 80s was fascinating because you had access to all the music. Yeah. So lots of cream rose to the top, and I fell in love with some bad bands too. It's there's something about, I don't know, not being perfect, and music being like a shapeless object, like water. You can do anything you want with it, and there's no right or wrong answer. Like, I don't know if the Cramps are a great band or a bad band, but I love them no matter what. Like, there's some beautiful imperfection in what they were pulling off, and that's always kind of fascinated me too. And I don't know, as I go on long-winded, movies have had just as much of an influence on me as music has. As far as like, I don't know, what I resonate with, and what I want the world to be like, and what is emotion for me. And movies take me there just as much as music.
I like it. Well, I mean, you mentioned in those bands, what I hear was, I think, your first concert, Red Hot Chili Peppers, at a bowling alley there.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
alley, no longer there.
And it's crazy. That was the first tour with John Frusciante that you got to see him with. I mean, I'm guessing seeing Flea up close like that's got to fuel some bass fire right there for you.
Oh yeah, and it was already like full on, but that, like, seeing what they did to the crowd, like a crowd of 500 back then in '88, was insanity.
Did you? I know you guys have played several shows with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Did you ever get to tell Flea hey, I was at that bowling alley show. You remember that one?
I don't know if I was articulate at all when I talked to Flea, but I do remember gushing and letting him know how much he means to me and how much his style of playing and just personality, honestly, really, I don't know, meant the world to me as a kid. To kind of individualize myself, definitely in his footsteps, but also like, be yourself, everyone else is taken kind of thing. And that meant the world to me. I hope I didn't hurt John's feelings when I saw him in the hallway at the Forum. So it was all kinds of things coming in to play. And you might have seen me say this before on interviews, but I'm going to enlighten other people who haven't seen it. As a huge Lakers fan, being at the Forum was amazing. As a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, playing with them was amazing. And then so playing with them on December 31st, 1999 at the Forum was just absolutely mind-blowing. Really made me feel like we had made about 1 million good decisions to get us into that place. And yeah, it was something I'll never forget. And I grabbed John in the hallway. I was like, can I meet Flea? And he was like, yeah, let's go meet Flea. It was great. He didn't mind at all that I wasn't like blown away by meeting him. I think he understood. He probably gets it a lot. Flea's a cultural icon.
Yeah, and it's your instrument too.
Yeah.
That there's a little bit of a bias there, but
It makes sense.
Now, when your band fully formed and you guys got together, it's you, it's Nick, it's Chad, it's Tim, it's SA. Obviously, there was something very special going on to have the success that you've had and to be together as long as you guys have been together now. Did you see that initially? Was that already was it one of those things that once you guys started playing regularly, were you like, oh man, we got to keep this going? Or was it just like you guys were motivated from the start and you were like, we're going to make this happen regardless?
Yeah, it was, there was a few moments where we kind of wordlessly understood that there was a membrane that we had broken through, and that it was a put up or shut up, or, hang it up or keep it going kind of moment. One of them was the RV fire, but we had moments like that beforehand too, so, it was like a combination of things, but like I said, like we didn't really talk about it. There was no backup plan. My mom wanted me to be a plumber, just for stability. Yeah. And as a real estate agent, you deal with a lot of plumbers. So, she saw that as a solid vocation, not troubadouring around the world, but she's also like my biggest supporter as well. So, we fell in love with music. I don't think there was anything that was going to stop us besides like death or whatever kind of hot-headed disagreement. We're smart enough to work through those things, but I could have definitely seen it happening, lots of times. We've all tangled with each other in one way or another, as you're going to in a relationship, especially a 34-year relationship. So yeah, we're lucky. We love it. The fans keep us in perspective. It's kind of bigger than music at this point, with the community being so self-supporting. They almost don't need us anymore, which is kind of funny and great at the same time. But I don't know. At this point, I just see it as like a blank check to be ourselves, go into that like personality thing. Like, let's write the music that we want to hear. Let's keep pushing ourselves to go to new places. Let's keep having fun. Let's keep going to Florida.
Well, now, you guys, like you said, there were a bunch of struggle moments. during Grassroots, you were basically living on the road. Then all of a sudden in 95, self-titled album hits. Down goes to number 1. All Mixed Up is number 4. You go on Conan. You go on Letterman. Now, looking back on it, that seems like just all of a sudden this sort of 180. Did it actually sort of feel like that then, as far as like, did you all of a sudden turn around and go, like, the size of the venues are increasing, number of fans explode? Was it really fast, or was it one of those things that you're like, hey, I'm picking up right now?
Yeah, I think it was the latter. It was a steady increase for us, even though I think looking at it on paper, it would appear that it was more like a storm that kind of took over our career path. But I mean, it was something we were going for, whatever relative plateau we were capable of pulling off, given our strange mix of music and tastes and everything. So I think a lot of our success is good timing. The fact that when fans were first hearing about the Blue Album and Down and the songs that were on this more cohesive album, removed from Grassroots, the album before, it was all real reliable information sources, as in your friends, and like your brother, it was your homies that were telling you about this album, and then it was the radio, and then it was like all over the place. So it worked out really well for us. But there's the like authentic way that it happened in the Grassroots style that we helped cultivate. Definitely fans get all the credit as well for supporting us and letting us be the weirdos that we used to be as we wind tunneled and normalized a little bit. But yeah, it was amazing watching it progress, but it wasn't fast for us. We felt every step climbing that ladder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of that, I found right around that time, I found a fantastic interview you did back in like 95.
Oh boy.
And it was on Angel Fire. And it actually, it's a lot of what you've already brought up. But I wanted, one of the things that I saw, you said your mom is, one of your biggest supporters. It said in that interview, you said she was managing the 311 website.
Oh yeah, totally.
How long did she do that?
She was moderating our message boards on our website for, probably 15 years, something like that. I should ask her. I'm not great with numbers or memory, but it was quite a long time. And it was great because she was like, you'd be forgiving about it, but you cross the line and you're done. You're finished.
She was the great cooler. She was Dalton from Roadhouse, throwing people out. I love it.
Yeah, you come in with a blade on your boot, and you're gonna be asked to leave politely, and then we're gonna shove you out the door. Yeah, it was great. I think that also just added to the authenticity of it. Who else is gonna run it better than one of the band members' moms?
That's true. That's true. Great. Well, now they also in the interview they asked you the current top 11 albums. And there were a lot, and I got to ask if this one, this is a great album. I'm just wondering because it seemed very current at the time. Soundgarden, Super Unknown. Would you say that gets close to the a top 11 right now?
Probably not really. Always in my heart, that's for sure. I had a Chris Cornell Soundgarden sticker on my first car, so. They're never letting go of that. But I'm listening to Turnstile, and I'm listening to Band of Horses.
Okay.
And I'm always listening to Stevie Wonder.
Classic.
What else am I listening to that's new? I'll think about it. Something will bubble up. I love 100 Gex. 100 gecs, always good for like surprising you what they're going to come up with next. Who I fell in love with recently in Europe after seeing a couple shows was the supergroup LS Dunes, which is members of Thursday and Sauzen, if I'm saying that correctly, and My Chemical Romance, and of course the mighty Coheed and Cambria. Also one of my favorite bands that I'm always listening to. I'm listening to a lot of Idols lately. I'm loving their 2 most recent albums. God, it's just a kick in the balls. Like, what do you want your music to sound like? I don't know, a kick in the balls.
Yes.
The English, they're coming for you.
I like it. Well, I mean, let's talk about a kick in the balls. The newest single, You're Gonna Get It. About 2 months ago. And correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first song since Voyager?
Yes. Yeah, first single.
Nice. So what was there any particular reason for the hiatus of releasing a new single, and then what spurred creating this single?
Oh, well, I mean, the global pandemic was a speed bump for everybody. We needed to compartmentalize and come back together stronger after taking a break from reality, like everyone did. So yeah, I think coming with a banger, heavy hitter, swinging for the fences kind of single makes a lot of sense. I think we're ready to shake off kind of formally the reggae, the reggae overtones. Like we're a rock band that plays reggae. We're not a reggae band that plays rock. You know what I mean? I think positioning ourselves like that has been, like I said, kind of chess moves, like within the industry, a very intentional one. We want to get back to rocking the house, which we've always done, but releasing singles that kind of show that mindset, gets us in a good position, gets us to where we want to be. And it seems like it's going over pretty well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, now when you created this song, I mean, I know musically you guys have always been pretty collaborative as far as the creation of songs. Was that, I mean, how did you guys come in with things already ready to go on this? Somebody had already formulated a lot of the plot, or was it really sort of from scratch creating the song?
Yeah, I think Nick worked with some writers outside of the band, and like he always has ideas bubbling. I'm sure he had something when he came to the table. That's what's so fun about writing with him, is he usually makes it pretty easy. He knows what he wants, so it's kind of filling in those blanks instead of reinventing the wheel. Reinventing the wheel is hard, but making a cool wheel design, only makes sense. It's got to be roundish, and you can't have too many spiky bits on it.
Coming in with that triangle wheel, no, that's not going to work. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Well, with that newest song, I mean, this is going on the Unity tour. Is it always your favorite to play the newest song in concert?
Oh, I mean, always favorite is going to be nothing for me, except for
it's just getting out there.
My family and my wife, you know what I mean? Like, musically speaking, I'm all over the place. I do tend to like the newer stuff because we've played so much of the first 3 albums over our careers, since, driven out of necessity, given the fact that we only had, so many songs when we were starting off. Writing was necessary. So adding those first couple albums to the first touring songs that we did, I don't know, there's a I called it a blood clot in the set list meeting. Like as far as like getting to the new stuff. So yeah, I think you might be right. Playing the new stuff really it's certainly a highlight. I think the kids that are hearing this as like their first new 311 song, or when they hear a new album and that's their first new 311 album, I think that means a lot to people as new fans. So it's important for us to kind of see those markers on the highway. But you know, we're blinded by our own experience, so we're just doing our best. But come and see a show. It's a good
that's
show.
true. Well, real quick with that, as far as the show, I have this analogy. I've asked a couple of other artists this that have had big hits. Like we just had UB40 on the show a little while back, and you know, Red Wine. They've played that like 45,000 times, no doubt.
Yes.
And my analogy, my thought, I've never had a number one hit song, so I don't know what it feels like. But my analogy is I have stories that my friends love for me to tell, right? You go out to the bar and they're like, oh, you got to tell a story. When we got in the wreck in the car, dude, you got to tell it. And you're like, I don't feel like, but you start telling it and everybody gets into it. They're laughing. They're telling you, they're adding their own things. And then by the end, you're like, that was pretty awesome. Is that the way it feels when you play that like number one song, when you play the All Mixed Up or the Down or one of those songs that you have definitely played thousands of times?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. You know, I've seen comedians put it where if you if you do the jokes that people heard you do on the last tour, they're not going to show up at the next show. But if the band doesn't play the songs that you listened to on the last album, you know, then you're not going to show up. So there's different levels of expectation. I think comedians are always pushed to do brand new material, and that's kind of brutal, given the fact that once you have a good routine, you kind of do want to hold on to it as a story, but you can't. You know, it turns stale as fast as rotten air. So as musicians, we just kind of got to get used to the fact that like that's our thing, and there is going to be some repetition, but the audience changes, and you got to hold on to that. And the fact that people take it so personally is something that you've got to sidestep your own emotions about. So I don't know. It's a dance, and it's fun to not do it perfect.
Well, now
never do it perfect.
Last one there. Last question. Since it is the amphitheater, since you are going to be playing here at the St. Augustine Amphitheater, love it. Just such a good venue. You usually get a real good breeze going there, and it's outdoors, of course. Do you like doing the outdoor gigs?
Yeah, of course. That's when everybody shows up. I think everybody likes outdoors better than the indoor gigs, unless unless there's a horrible noise restriction or it's like a bottleneck getting in and getting out.
Yeah,
that can be trouble too. But that can be at any gig. So I don't know. Work on your city planning.
Well, Peanut, I don't want to take up any more of your time, man, but I really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah, happy to be here. Good talking with you.
Yeah, man. Listeners, make sure you check out 311, August 17th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. It's going to be fantastic. Right now, let's take a listen to the new release. You're going to get it right here on the Doc G Show. And we are back here on the Doc G Show. You just heard Peanut Wills from 311. You just heard 311. That was Amber right here on the Doc G Show. My goodness, Mike. Such a career they've had. You know, it's
Yeah.
been quite a steady career too. You know, they've just been cruising along, just being this great hits factory. You know, and they're still selling out arenas. You know, still selling out arenas and amphitheaters. It's a nice thing.
Awesome.
You know. And I was just talking to a dude the other day, and he was like, we were talking something about like 90s rock bands. And he was like, you know who I love? And I was like, who? He's like 311.
Say what?
And I was like, oh, man, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, my God, I just saw him in Tampa. One of the best shows ever, man. I love him so much.
That's awesome.
And I was like, oh, guess what? I'm best friends with their bassist.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, what? And I'm like, well, by that I mean we talked one time for 30 minutes. But in my book, that means we're best friends. So, anyways, Mike, maybe someday we can get Snoopaloop on the show. You know? I think he's a little bit out of our price range. And by
Snoop
price range, I mean he's just more popular than we can get. You know, that guy's he's up there. You know,
He does a lot of work.
he's up there. You know, the Olympics just put him into the stratosphere.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a.
I mean, he was just
like a comeback.
everywhere. Well, it's like me.
Yeah.
It's like me and Peanut talked about. He just gets in where he fits in. He's not playing a part. He's playing Snoop. You know who he is, and you're just like, and he's not forcing it. He knows he's a 60-year-old dude now. He's not a 20-year-old gangster rapper. So he's not out there trying to, you know, wear bandanas and throw guns around. He's like, hey.
He's got Skechers.
He's like, I've got Skechers and I've got grandkids. And I'm going to hang out with Martha Stewart and we're going to talk about dressage horses. Boom. You know? And I got to say, I love it. I'd love to hang out with Snoop. I think it'd be real fun.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Agreed.
Thanks to 311 for hanging out with us. It was real fun. I appreciate P. Wills coming on the show, and hopefully next time they're cruising back around the Florida area, they'll cruise back on the show, you know?
Hopefully.
But, Mike, we need to move on. Listeners, it's all my fault. Last week, I screwed up the fastest growing segment in the world. Mike, what's the fastest growing segment in the world?
Mike C. Top 3.
That's correct. And this week on the show, we don't really have a topic that you know what's coming, listeners. Because here's the thing. We didn't have a topic. And just a few minutes.
I take responsibility for this too, Doc G. I should have hit you up and been like, I haven't been thinking that hard for the last few days. What am I missing?
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I was getting ready. We were getting ready to come on air here. And I was looking at my outline. And I was like, this outline doesn't feel finished. What's not on this outline? And then I was like, oh, top 3.
Girl, come on.
So, listeners, I sent Mike a top 3 suggestion real quick before we got on the air. And I was like, Mike, top 3 salad dressings. You know, it's a go-to. It's fairly easy. I think we can all think of our favorite salad dressings pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know? But I gave it a good thought. I went down the list, you know? So first off, do you have any honorable mentions, Mike?
I do.
Okay. Do you want? I'll do my honorable mentions here.
Okay.
So first off, a pomegranate vinaigrette.
Oh, pomegranate vinaigrette.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's like raspberry, but it's a little tangier. But like at least the one that I had, they condensed it a little bit. So it wasn't just as runny as a normally vinaigrette. It had a little bit of thickness to it, you know? It had like
that's important.
It had like the consistency of almost like a ranch, you know, like that thick to it. And let me tell you, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
That sounds nice.
This one's going to be a curveball, Mike. Sweet onion teriyaki from Subway.
Never had that. From Subway.
Yeah, you know the sweet onion teriyaki sandwich?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that extra juice they put on there. Sometimes back in the day, I'd go get a salad from Subway, and you get the sweet onion teriyaki salad, and boom,
Restaurant hack.
that sweet onion teriyaki, get out of here, man. I could eat that. I could eat that on a trash bag and it'd be delicious. Oh my gosh. Then my last one that I got for honorable mention, Mike, soy ginger salad dressing.
Soy ginger. Yeah, that stuff is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
You go to a good Asian restaurant, like a good Japanese restaurant, or like Chinese wok style restaurant, and you get like the seaweed salad. They'll throw some of that on there, or just like the regular salad, just some greens, and they'll throw it.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of town.
Yeah.
I could eat that on pretty much anything too. Anywho, Mike, what are your honorable mentions?
All right. Wishbone Italian dressing.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good one. But wishbone
dressing.
specific, huh?
Yeah, I mean that's the only one I know of that like is specific to like just growing up. My mom would put that dressing on all of our salads, and she would also marinate cauliflower in it, and it was amazing.
Now I never had cauliflower marinated in it. My mom would marinate chicken in the wishbone, and
my mom did.
It's just a mom thing because my mom would usually go to the wishbone too. She was a wishboner as well. Wait, what? Anyways, what's your other honorable mentions?
Yeah, also French dressing. You know the orange stuff.
Classic French. Yeah.
French dressing.
That's a good
also
sweet.
Wishbone.
That's a good sweet taste right there.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And then lastly, pretty boring, oil and vinegar.
Just a classic oil and vinegar. Now that's
red wine vinegar.
That's a European thing right there, Mike. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not a sophisticate that travels to Europe a lot. My brother, however, is a world traveler, and that's what he says happens all the time. You're in Europe, you're getting oil and vinegar. That's basically the dressing. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
But that's good. Like, you know, you just get a little mix of it. You splash it over there. It's pretty awesome. You know?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a good oil and you, like you said, a quality vinegar, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like that back in the day before my mom advanced to the Italian dressing, that's what we'd have a lot of times. It would just be she'd put some seasonings in the oil and vinegar. You know, you just mix it in there.
Okay.
Put a little garlic powder, a little onion salt, you know, a little salt and pepper.
Genius.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And you mix it. Basically, you got an Italian dressing there, you know? Okay, Mike. Now we get to our top three. I'm
going to try that, Doc G.
Yeah?
We have oil and vinegar like almost every night.
Getting the ideas. Here's the number 3. It's really generic. I didn't put a brand or anything on it. Ranch.
That's my number 3.
There it is. I mean,
you can't beat it.
It's a go-to, and that's not just for salads, honestly. You know, like, I mean, because that's the thing, is you can be a sick freak with ranch on all kinds of stuff. Like, you can be that nasty freak that uses it for pizza. You can use it for wings. You can use it for cereal. I might have taken it too far on that one, but you can use it for a lot of things. You can use it for a lot of just vegetables.
Yeah,
I'll eat it all day. I will eat it all day. You know, and it also takes me back a little bit to elementary school. The ranch, you know, because that was basically the only dressing we had.
Dressing,
just in a giant 2-gallon jug that they had a squirter on, you know?
Oh, gosh.
And they'd be like, do you want a salad? You'd be like, yes. And it'd be like 8 pieces of iceberg lettuce with some fake bacon bits on the top. And they'd just be like, and you'd be like, oh, ranch. Nice. Good stuff. Loved it, Mike. Loved it.
For sure.
Okay. Since we both did our 3s, my number 2. Caesar.
Okay.
Caesar. I love Caesar, man. And it's you know, Caesar's a weird one. Because you know one of the main ingredients of Caesar, Mike?
Anchovies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, and
you can kind of taste it sometimes, too. By the way, that's my number 1.
You can. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, I love Caesar, man. It is so good. A great Caesar salad is one of the best things. You get that Parmesan, that sharp Parmesan on there. And then you get that Caesar dressing, and they just complement each other so well. And then you get a nice rich romaine lettuce with it. Oh.
Yeah. It's incredible.
It's the best, man. It's the best.
Get it everywhere too. Every restaurant. Even if it's a really nice restaurant and I want to save my stomach space, I'll still get their Caesar salad.
I don't know. I usually go, if I know it's a really good restaurant, I'll get the Caesar only there because I know they're going to do it justice. Although sometimes you get that place that tries to get a little too...
What do you mean you do the Caesar only? What do you mean?
Instead of at the crappy restaurants, I don't get the Caesar there.
Oh,
because I'm I don't want to ruin it, I don't want it to be some crappy, basically they mixed Italian and ranch in the back, and we're well, that's sort of Caesar, right? That's close enough. I want the real deal. Although I will say, as a kid, used to all the time Caesar side salad at Wendy's. You better believe I got that nonstop.
Yeah,
I got that thing all the time. And here's what I do: I kick it up a notch, listeners. I get that, get a 5-piece nug. Throw the nugs in there. Chicken Caesar. Caesar. Oh, God, it was so good. It's the least healthy salad you've ever seen in your life. Bacon bits, cheese, dressing, fried chicken. And it was good, Mike. It was good. Anyways, Caesar is. Now, I will say, Mike, I really love the fresh-made Caesar dressing. And like you said, that's where you can taste the anchovies. And you're do I like anchovies that much? I guess I do. What? It really throws you. You're why is...
People take it too far when they get the anchovy slices, though.
Oh, yeah.
I used to work in a restaurant, and I would see that, and I'd be well, that's too much.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
too much.
But, yeah, that's my number 2. That's not your number 1, so you'll unveil your number 2 last. But here we go. My number 1, Mike, Italian. Love Italian, man.
Yeah.
And I would say if I were to do a specific in-store brand, I'm going OG, man. I am going Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
I'm getting that Olive Garden Italian.
Yeah. Olive Garden Italian is the way.
And it is delicious.
Yeah, it
and
is.
It's sort of like you said, Mike. I don't know what it is, but my mom was an Italian dressing person growing up, and so it's the nostalgic salad go-to. If I'm having dressing, it tastes like home, Mike. It tastes like home.
It really does.
Okay, Mike, your number 2.
My number 2, balsamic vinaigrette. Like a thick, a balsamic.
Oh yeah, you've reduced it. Yeah.
Yeah, the reduction of balsamic. Yeah, and then they put that on all delicious. Strawberry salads are really good with the greens and the candied pecans.
Now, pecans. Mike, I'm telling you, with that one, that pomegranate vinaigrette that I was mentioning before, that'll kick it up a notch. That'll kick it up a notch.
All right,
all right. And Publix, shout out to Publix. One of my favorite things they've got their salads with pecans, not candied, but just pecans, and then apple slices and blueberries, and then the greens, and the pomegranate vinaigrette. Get out of here! Get out of here! That is one tasty salad right there. That is good times. It is summer in a bowl, and it is the delicious summer. Anyways, Mike, that is our Mike C Top 3 for this week. Mike, what are you thinking next week?
Next week, animal hunting strategies. Maybe not strategies, just I couldn't figure out how to word this. Top 3 ways animals hunt.
I don't know. We might have to think of that one a little bit more. We might have to strategy that. Do you have any others?
We've kind of done this before, but we've never done a top 3.
Okay.
We've done the ones that we own, but never a top 3 sports jerseys in general.
Just okay, yeah. I like that one. I think that one's easier to work with off the top.
Okay, I'm gonna work on the animal hunting
let's
one.
think.
We're gonna circle back around to it.
Let's think how we can sort of
animal. Maybe it was animal defenses.
Well, we already did animal defenses, but I see what you're saying. But I think we need to anyways, what we're gonna do next week?
Sports jerseys.
So best all time, listeners.
Just
all time, every
baseball,
sport,
basketball, football,
whatever you think are the coolest, would look the coolest. All right.
Yeah.
This one, I'll tell you right now. This always gets the ESPN anchors going. Those ESPN anchors love talking jerseys. My God. Whenever a team will throw a throwback jersey on, they're like, "Oh, did you see? Did you see Denver? They had the 1986 jerseys on, and it was mind-blowing." And you're like, I mean, they were cool, but there was a game, guys. Like, Jesus, are you in the fashion industry? I didn't know you started working for Donna Karan there. Let's settle down. Does Donna Karan make clothes? I think she does, right? I don't know. I think I landed that. I think that was a designer. Anyways, Mike, we need to wrap it up for this. Oh, no. What? I got excited about our top three. I completely forgot. We need to move on to 2 birthday suits, Mike.
Tomas.
I think you can get 1. You might be able to get 2. We'll see.
Let's see.
I'm a little bit both in the air on these, but we'll see. Born on August 28th, 1965 in Windsor, Ontario. She was always interested in music. She signed to Mercury Nashville Records in 1991 and released her first album in 1993, but it wasn't successful. But when she teamed up with Mutt Lange for her second album, The Woman in Me, it sold over 20 million copies. Her third album, Come On Over, is the best-selling album by a female solo artist of all time. It's also the best-selling country album of all time and the best-selling album by a Canadian. It has sold over 40 million albums.
Jeez.
The album had 16 songs. 12 of them were released as singles.
Girl, come on.
That is insane. You've got jams like You're Still the One. You've got jams like That Don't Impress Me Much. And you've got, of course, the classic, Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Oh, such a jam, right? Her fourth album, Up, was released in 2002, sold 20 million albums. From 2012 to 2014, she had a residency in Las Vegas. She released her sixth album in 2023 titled Queen of Me. She has received 5 Grammy Awards. She is on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she's in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame and in the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. She is considered the queen of country pop. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Shania Twain.
Shania Twain is correct. Yes. Yeah, my God, 40 million albums. Like, that's up there with Thriller. That's up there with the Eagles' greatest hits album. Like, that is...
it's pretty wild.
That is just nuts. Mike, be honest. Do you have that album? Did you have that album?
No.
No.
No. I didn't know the first album flopped. That's pretty wild.
Very first album.
Was,
very first album. Yeah. Nobody really remembers it. But it came out, didn't really do anything at all. But, like, that was the big thing. Like, I'm sure she doesn't like to hear this because it's her ex-husband now, but... She teamed up with Mutt Lange, and he was the producer, and he just put that polished rock sound on it, and you got those songs like Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and You're Still the One, and you just went, oh yeah.
Yeah,
that is it, and Mutt Lange's done so much other things. He produced some of Def Leppard's biggest albums. Like Pyromania. He produced that. He produced Hysteria. He produced several Lady Gaga albums. So like he knows how to make them, man. And that one, he knocked it out of the park along with her. She obviously wrote the songs, but yeah, crazy. 40 million.
Yeah, it's wild.
And
great documentary on Netflix, by the way.
And me and Mike did not own that album, and she still sold 40 million. Amazing. Amazing. But I'll tell you what, I was alive for that album, and you heard it effing everywhere.
Oh, yeah. We definitely listened
everywhere. To a lot. Like, you went to a middle school dance, you're hearing that 17,000 times.
Yep.
It's too much. Anyways, happy birthday to Shania Twain. Turning, let's see, 59. 59. One more year in the 50s, Shania. There we go. Mike, here's the last one. Born on August 28th, 1961 in Boston, Mass. Growing up, she wanted to be an actress. She ended up going to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. Fun fact, while she was there, she worked as a waitress with none other than Sandra Bullock. Same place, Sandra Bullock. Interesting. Cool. She had a big breakthrough in acting when she played Stifler's mom in the American Pie series. You got it? You think you got it? Do you know that? Oh, dang. All right, let's see. I've only got, because other than that.
I'll take initials because I know the lady.
She's okay. So the other place her career was kicked into overdrive just a couple of years ago when she was cast as Tanya McCoy in The White Lotus in 2021. She won 2 Emmys for the role. She also starred in the Netflix series The Watcher in 2022. And in 2023, Time magazine named her as one of the 100 most influential people of 2023. Her initials, JC. And here's an extra, that's going to be, here's an extra clue, Mike. Her last name is the last name of a president. A president that was president in the 1920s.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on this one, Doc G. I don't know.
Jennifer Coolidge. Jennifer Coolidge, yes, like old President Coolidge of the 1920s.
Of course, President Coolidge.
Yeah, Mike knew. He knew. Yeah, Jennifer. Wow. Everybody loves to do their Jennifer Coolidge wow reaction. That's what she always does. Like pretty much every single wow. It's a lot like Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of, but his is a little less raspy. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anywho.
Good impression.
Oh, thank you. And, just with one word. Wow. Just with one word.
Hey, but you have to capture a lot with that one word.
You got to get one thing. You got to get it. So anyways, happy birthday to Jennifer Coolidge, turning 63, hitting her stride. And I think I mentioned, I'm almost positive I did mention this to you, Mike. She was in a couple of interviews. She mentioned how that role as Stifler's mom got her to hook up with a lot of young dudes back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah. So kudos to you, Jennifer Coolidge. Kudos to you. Mike, we need to wrap up the show. But remember, listeners, if you're in the Jacksonville area, Bush, tomorrow night, go see it. It's going to be fantastic. You can see my best friend, potentially lover, Gavin Rossdale, out there just being amazing. The rest of the crew, you got Jerry Cantrell, you got Bones. My goodness, it's going to be amazing. But until next week, we've got to wrap it up. I've been your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the Furnicus Charette.
Always a pleasure, Doc G. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And until next week, zip it up and zip it out.
Zip-a-doo-dah.